Let us take a moment to quiet our minds and calm our hearts, breathing deeply and slowly to connect to the safe haven, the sanctuary we all have within. Today we read from the book Jesus in the Home, chapter 13, titled The Sincere Revolutionary. During a discussion on domestic matters, Judas had been speaking enthusiastically about irregularities in the governance of the people and the likelihood of an uprising in Jerusalem, when the Lord, very calmly, added his comments. A king in ancient times was regarded by the people of his realm as being so cruel that the head prophet of the kingdom was called upon to lead a widespread rebellion to try to dethrone him. At first, the prophet did not believe the people's accusations, but everyone was adamant. The king has a heart of stone and is an evil lord because he persecutes, seizes, and beats his subjects all over the kingdom, they complained in desperation. Thus it was that the trusting prophet likewise became enraged and accepted the idea of a revolution being the only remedy to the situation. So he made plans in private with a few hundred resolute and courageous companions. However, since he had an unwavering trust in God, on the eve of the event, he went up on top of a mount and prayed so fervently for divine assistance that an angel from heaven was sent down to have a heart-to-heart talk with him. In the company of the sublime messenger, the prophet accused the king, alleging what he knew by hearsay, and beseeching heaven's approval of the plan for the renewing revolt. The messenger noted his sincerity, listened to him patiently, and then said, "In the name of the Supreme Lord, the plan will be approved under one condition. You must live with the king for 100 days in his palace as a humble and loyal servant. At the end of this time, if your mind is still set on the same intent, you can overthrow the throne with our support." The honest leader accepted the proposal and began to fulfill the terms. Humble and sincere, he went to the royal abode, where there were always cleaning positions available, and took the job of an unknown servant. But as soon as he began serving the king, he noticed that the king never had time for the smallest needs having to do with the pleasures of life. From the moment he got up in the morning, he was surrounded by impertinent advisors and ministers. He was tormented by hundreds of complaints by the hour. In his role as a father, he was deprived of his children's affection. In his role as a husband, he lived far from his wife. In addition, he often suffered ill health because he had to attend to a lot of banquets and ceremonies where he was forced to listen to all kinds of lies coming from the mouths of flattering and ungrateful subjects. He never slept, nor did he eat at the right time each day, and wherever he was, he had to watch what he said. He could never open his heart to express any lasting expression of life, but had to suppress any such feelings, which in turn suffocated his soul. The leader of the popular masses realized that the king was more like a slave, heartlessly condemned to labor without rest, in complete spiritual loneliness, he couldn't even find time to enjoy communion with God through ordinary prayer. By the end of the time period agreed upon, the prophet had undergone a dramatic transformation and returned to the mount in order to honor his promise. When the angel appeared to him as he was praying, he implored him to have mercy on the king, for whom he now felt a sincere sense of compassion. Immediately afterwards, he gathered the people and notified everyone that the king was perhaps the most tortured man in the entire kingdom, and that instead of their long-awaited insurrection, they should show more understanding and work harder at their jobs so that the king, who was himself so enslaved and miserable, could, without trouble, fulfill the lofty mission that had been bestowed upon him. And so, the rebellion gave way to understanding and hard work. Judas was disappointed and seemed to be rehearsing some kind of irreverent comment, but the Divine Master spoke first, saying incisively, "Revolution is always the tragic error of those who wish to usurp the scepter of government. When every servant understands their responsibilities in the plan of life, there is no disposition toward rebelliousness or time for insubordination." Closing with a simple prayer, we ask you, God, to help us make good use of every opportunity you present us for developing our compassion toward others in obedience to your will, for love is all you ask of us, and true love is never burdensome. We thank you, Lord, for understanding us and supporting us in our daily struggles, never giving up on us. Please stay with us now and always. So be it.